Speaking of things and things that I made, I feel like I now have too much power on my Twitter. Like I can say some like stupid fucking thing and somehow it gets like way more attention than it ever should. So I tweeted out this the other day. Guess I tweeted this out yesterday for me, a week ago for you guys. I don't know. Non-developers talking about programming issues is always adorable. Non-dev here. Can't you just slap an AI on the logic, an API on the logic, and merge with existing AMD apps? So this is like a making a AMD control panel sort of thing. I'm curious what slap an API on the logic looks like in your head. Replying to a previous comment, but almost all the business logic should be redone to accommodate AMD slash Intel GPUs. As opposed to redoing all the business logic, port all the business logic over to an AMD app or vice versa by adding an interface to both. Elaborate. Please, this is funny. And this got like fucking 412 likes and 33 retweets. Like, what the hell? Like, why are people paying attention to things that I'm putting out? Or another one was from an earlier day where I pissed off some people about Windows. Where is it? Where is the Windows 7 tweet? Here's the follow-up to it. Didn't think saying I don't run Windows 7 in 2022 was controversial. There are only two reasons to still be using it. Firstly, you have a specialized use case where the software you need can only run on Windows 7. Secondly, you bought a computer a decade ago and have no idea what an OS is. And I think most people would be pretty much in agreement with that. Like, you probably shouldn't be using Windows 7, and if you are using Windows 7 but you don't know what a computer is, you don't like understand operating systems or anything like that, totally fine. Doesn't matter if you're still using it. Because look, a lot of people will say they're using Windows 7 because they don't like the telemetry in Windows 10 and 11. But if your plan to like escape Microsoft telemetry is to run a system with 7+-year-old unpatched exploits, that's insane. I did make a mistake on the year that the extended support ended. So extended support and extended service something or other. Extended security updates. So extended support ended in 2020. So for like free users, people who are still using Windows 7, those people, they basically don't get any updates after that point. So after 2020, no more updates for Windows 7, with the exception of paying for extended security updates. I mixed up some dates. I thought that extended support was part of the paid thing. Someone might say, but what about developing nations that can't afford new hardware? Which I think is a totally legitimate concern and might be a fine reason for running Windows 7 or running an older operating system. But I feel like that's like a totally legitimate concern. But instead of running a highly insecure OS, you are much better off using any modern Linux distro. Now, obviously, if you're at a business and they rely on some specific software or something like that, like maybe you require Teams or some other weird bit of software that doesn't work properly on Linux or simply just doesn't work on Linux full stop, it makes sense why you would need to be using Windows then. But a lot of that software is slowly not supporting Windows 7 anyway, so it's not going to even be like a valid choice to be using Windows 7 in like maybe, I want to say 2 or 3 more years. Like, I know a lot of games that are coming out aren't supporting Windows 7. A lot of software is updating past the Windows 7 support period, and software that is on like a software that used to work, and like maybe there's still a version of that program that works on Windows 7, because it relies on like the servers being run by the company, they might just not support having that older version running on their servers anymore. Uh, but like, I will put out stupid tweets like this, and people will actually like take what I'm saying as like some super serious thing. Where was the other one? Before I went to bed last night, I literally just tweeted GNOME, and I woke up and it has fucking 20 comments and 70 likes. I didn't tweet anything. I just tweeted the word GNOME. Why? Stop it. And like, people have been arguing about GNOME and stuff in the comment section. Some people that are like, hey, look, haha, funny gnome word. But like, there were people who had actual discussions about KDE and GNOME in my comment section. Like, stop it! Stop! What are you doing? I'm just tweeting out a word because I'm fucking with all of you people. But for some reason, I've gotten to this position, and this is not me bloating. Gloating. Bloating and gloating are very different words. This is not me gloating. I don't know how I got into this position where people, like, not just on my Twitter, on my YouTube, will, like, hear what I say, and I am treated as some, like, fucking authority on things. How did that happen? I don't understand. It doesn't make sense, and it will never make sense.